Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a bonus new moon for the month of January tarot oracle reading. And Virgo, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Virgo, we still all have a little bit of Virgo in us. If you have your birth chart, which house is it in? That's where this energy shows up for you. My goal is to provide you with valuable information to empower you. This is also a timely reading, meaning that when you're watching it is the perfect time for you. If it has been some time since I posted this, look back at what was going on in your life at that time, and it may give you more information about your situation. So the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck for this reading is the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands is talking about someone who is standing on the edge, on the edge of what they want or what they want to go after. This looks like it might be sand, but actually when you look closer, it's just the sun is shining on this. It's kind of like the golden, path or whatever. There's ships here. So this is talking about your ships have sailed in and they're coming in. So this is talking about going after that which you really want to achieve. And quite often, this energy can sometimes mean that you are leaving behind a situation and you're going on your own. Like there's two wands planted here and you're moving forward in a different way on your own. This is your vision. This is your, this is what you want personally. And okay, then we have the Queen of Swords for the internal forces. So the Queen of Swords often represents, like of all the queens, there's 4 in the deck, in the minor arcana, and she represents someone who is most likely to be divorced or separated. And that was kind of the energy that I'm picking up, is like wanting to go forward on your own, in your own way after having been in a couple. And this is talking about wanting to receive what you want in life, where you want to go. She has her sword up. She's been there. She's done that. She's bought the t-shirt. She is not, she does not want to entertain thoughts that are not in alignment with her independence. There's in the background of the swords cards, the swords represent your control of your mind and also your mental intelligence, and it's a double-edged sword. In the background of the face cards of the swords is these little flocks of birds, but there's only one bird flying above the Queen of Swords. And so this is just saying she's very independent, and her head is above the clouds. She has been there, as I said, she's done that. She has the souvenir. She wants to, she's ready to move forward with clarity of what she wants. And it has not been an easy decision. Like it's not been an easy journey for the Queen of Swords to get there. In some ways, people will say, oh, this is the coldest of all the queens. But this energy is like, the point is she did not, the point is that that's not how it started out. She was vulnerable and open, and now she has learned that she has to be somewhat cold. And perhaps she's a little bit on the colder side than the warmer side at this time. And this energy is talking about just not willing to be put up with bullshit anymore. Like if you're not going to come to her straight up, then don't bother. She's just not interested. And then we have, okay, these 9 cups of love. They represent, like there's 10 cups in the tarot. 10 cups is the highest, so one away from the ultimate fulfillment. And so these cups represent different cups of love. Like it could be love of your partner loves you, love of your children, love of your parents, love of your family, love of your the home you live in, love of the country you live in, love of the location where you are, love of your career. And there's just one thing missing. And I think for her, that would probably be like true love, like someone that is like she's resonating with in that way. This energy is talking about the body language it's very open on the bottom here. Talking with the feet pointing out like this. This represents someone who's leaking energy. And then about moving forward, having like just not that strong in their ability to move forward at this time. And then here is the closed, energy of like keeping things contained. Mind you, this is not above the heart anymore. So in some, when you look at it another, you think, oh, okay, well, that almost makes an infinity symbol. So this talks about someone opening up to the possibilities after being closed down to them. And this energy is someone that it's on stage. It's whatever's happened. A lot of people know about it. It's been on display in the public eye. Whatever happened in the, it looks like could be a separated or divorced person. And are these cups like above the head? So they're right now, or are they behind? And like now we're moving into the future, or is this all coming up in the future? That would depend on your situation. And this is also talking about that this is a wish to have like the 10 cups and that you're highly favored, but you need to stay in the race because many a race is lost in the last lap. If you're wishing for something, it means you don't have it yet. And so if you want to have it, you're going to have to put some energy into it. That's the energy coming up there. Then we have the Magician. And so when the Fool starts out on the journey in the major arcana, the energy is they start off at the 0 point and then they move forward in the very first card they come across is the Magician. So this is like having all the tools you need for your journey, bringing the energy from above down to below. So that whatever was destined in the heavens for you, that you have the potential here, infinite potential, to bring that down to earth. And this is representing alchemy, using your special qualities to make that happen. And we have a reality check here. So the Tower represents an energy of, a lightning bolt has struck the castle and it's on fire and the people are falling out. Like this card quite often represents, it's a reality check from the universe saying, hey, at first the universe might have whispered to you, hey, I think you should take a look at that. And then you didn't listen. So then the universe took a frying pan and whacked you over the head with it and you still didn't listen. So now you're getting the 2x4 treatment. And the thing that we see here is that there's two people falling out of this tower, but one of them is like looking totally shocked, and the other one is looking like, oh, I kind of wondered when this was going to happen. So sometimes the reality check just talks about like somewhere inside of you knew something was wrong, but you maybe couldn't put your finger on it, or you just didn't want to have to look at it, and now like you don't have any choice. This is falling apart. Like it's bang, just like that, a sudden happening. And we have the energy of the Emperor coming in. So the Emperor is all four kings rolled into one person. The Emperor is all about performance. The Emperor wears his armor underneath his robe, representing the fact that if an opportunity comes along, he will be there to take it. And he's ready. He's ready to do what he needs to do when he needs to do it. He's wise, represented by the white beard and the white hair. And he's also, he's got good control of his emotions. He's very intelligent, very experienced in life. Whatever field he's in, he is at the top of that field. And he's he has control over his mind, a disciplined mind and a disciplined emotions. And so he's emotionally available because of it, because he doesn't just randomly, he doesn't have impulsive behavior. He's all about performance and how best to bring whatever this is into being, that kind of energy. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles. So the 10 of Pentacles is ultimate amount of money, health, wealth, happiness. It's like your lifestyle. And so this is talking about having the lifestyle. This is about, it's raining money. You have the mansion in the neighborhood you want. You have time to talk to the neighbors. You have a couple of pets. You have children. Like you're just, you're with your partner and you're enjoying the energy. You have time to visit, that kind of energy. So this is like the ultimate American dream kind of energy. And then we have some form of communication coming in. So this energy here is talking about, in the old days, the knights would work for the king and the queen, and they would bring in, deliver and messages back and forth to different kingdoms. And so they'd have to travel for miles and miles and miles by horse, and then deliver it, and then wait for the answer, and then take it back to their court. And they also would protect the palace, etc. And the thing is that this horse here, if you look at it, is very stressed out. Like, and so is this card can sometimes represent someone like a fool rushing in, like not the opposite of this energy, someone who's ready to fight and they don't even really know the point of what they would be fighting about. And you notice even the clouds are jagged. It's kind of like really irregular energy. And you'll notice that there's also that he's running against the wind, not with it. And the land that he's traveling through is very barren. So what is he in such a hurry about? So he could be bringing in communication about this, most likely. Hey, did you hear this happened here? I've got to get this information. Perhaps these people need some help. Like their place is on fire. It's alarming, that kind of energy. And so he's in a hurry to deliver this message. Now, these days, I mean, with the flip of a switch, we can have information coming in. So this could represent a phone call. It could represent a fire alarm I'm getting in this situation for whatever reason. Maybe that's because we had fire alarm testing day today, and it was a very stressful day for my cat because it's very loud, and every time they have to test every unit, and every unit that they test, it rings in your unit as well, so that you know, hey, someone else's unit is on fire. Get out, move, get out of there quickly as you can. There's danger. That's the energy that I'm picking up here. And so let's see what's going on here. If we go to the beginning here, this is how you identify yourself. You identify yourself as being someone that is missing one cup, and then you would have fulfillment. And this could be, if you're the Queen of Swords energy, this could be, your love life, and that you have chosen to move forward without, as an individual, not in a partnership. And this energy, and it's kind of knowing, hey, my ships are sailing in, and I can feel it, and I need to do what I need to do. That kind of energy. I have clarity what needs to happen here for me to be able to move forward in my life. And then this is about abundance and self-worth. Like, so you have the tools you need, and you're aware of it. You know that you can make it happen. You feel that this would be totally an energetic upgrade for your life to move on, and on your own, basically, is what the energy is. And this is talking about communication in early life. And so you may have come from a family, sometimes this card represents divorce. You may have come from a family where there was divorce, and like you didn't really have a good role model for how to deal with the energy of being in a, like a couplehood. Or being like a part of a couple. And so this is kind of saying that, this is not surprising to you in some ways, I feel like, although a lot of times we will say, I'll never be like my parents, but this is kind of like the energy I'm picking up. And then we have your emotional foundation. Sometimes the Emperor can be very my way or the highway. And that might be the kind of maybe relationship that your mother had with your father, kind of energy, where he ruled the roost and she had to listen, or it could be opposite. Now remember, this could be, these are archetypes. So this is this king could actually be a queen, or sorry, this queen could be a king, a male in their feminine energy. And this emperor could be, this is very alpha male, but it could be a female in her real masculine energy. And if she's in this kind of energy, it's probably a little bit overboard kind of energy. My way or the highway. It has to be my way and only my way. We have the creativity and your romantic life and like just your family life. Like what lifestyle is it that you want to live? And it's like you want to live this lifestyle. Perhaps you had that lifestyle, but the part that was missing was the love. And then we have this about, it's regarding your daily routine and your habits and how do you live. And I feel like this is like saying, like, it's almost like this is a matter of urgency because you just can't, you don't want to deal with this anymore. And that you feel the only way to do so is to independently step out and do it that way. That's like, otherwise you're going to be dragged down by this energy to the point where you can't get back up. That's the energy I'm feeling. And then we have, what are the external forces? Okay, so the truth is coming in, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. So that's partly giving confirmation here as we transfer from the internal forces to the external forces. That, you know, this is like God stepping in with this reward, and that you get the truth, that you totally understand your situation, that you know where you're at. And this is kind of these are the what ifs. The internal forces are when you're laying in bed, you can tell it's an internal force because you'll be saying to yourself, what if I do this, then what? What if I leave and I go on my own? What will happen then? What if, what if, what if? What if I had done this instead? Then would it be different? That's the kind of energy it is. Whereas the external forces are saying, what the EF? Like, I did all this like properly. It should have been a really perfectly good thing. And I don't understand what went wrong. So that energy, the external forces, this is saying that the truth is going to come in. You don't have control over the external forces. The external forces, what you do have control is how do you respond, or how do you react to external forces coming into your life. So let's see what these external forces are. Okay, so there was some competition and juvenile competition. So this is the only card where there's actually adolescence, and that's all. There's no adults here. And this is talking about immature attitude towards competition. So this is talking like, this is my mean girls card. This is when, you know, the cheerleading team knows that they're not the winner, and they know that they can't beat the other team because they're that much better, but they don't care. They want to win anyway. So they'll do what they need to win. And if they don't succeed, then their mothers will. That kind of energy. And really, when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter if we're competing on a team with other people, if we're competing, like there can be competition in between players of a team. That's an energy that's coming up here. So we can actually have teammates that are in competition with each other instead of working together to be able to win. And we can also have competition just with other people, and not recognizing, hey, it's really not about the other people, it's about yourself. If you have the attitude that the competition is really with the last best version of yourself, then you always have control over that, because you realize, okay, no matter what happens, what external force comes in, I am going to do my best to do this, that 1% even better than I did it before. And quite often that extra 1% effort is all that's needed to be able to win and maybe be the hero of the team kind of energy, you know, like that. And this is about really, this energy with all these swords is talking about really, I want to move on to calmer waters. Like I want to, and this is God saying, yes, you need to work, you need to move to calmer waters. And so this could, I feel like this is talking that on some level, the relationship that you were in that was supposed to be your love relationship was actually a competition. And maybe you weren't even aware that it was a competition, but it was. That that your partner was jealous of you, or you were jealous of your partner and you didn't realize it, that kind of energy. Because there's two here, and this is the rough waters. That's representing mixed emotions. You love them, but you don't want them to be better than you or do better than you. You want to, you know, that kind of energy. And this is like the smoother waters, like, okay, this relationship is not working out no matter what we do. There seems to be a lot of discord here, even though I'm getting, and this is really challenging also, is mixed emotions are the most challenging to deal with. An example of mixed emotions is, I can give this from my own experience. When I gave birth to my children, I had them at a certain hospital, both of them. And that was like, oh, like such, my daughters, like I was like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful thing to have, like to bring babies into the world. That for me was like my major achievement of all achievements. Especially I was put on bed rest at about 4.5 months, and it like was on bed rest with my first child for like almost 5 months, and I had to just lay still because she wasn't getting enough oxygen otherwise. And then then later, when my parents, both of them passed, they passed under very difficult conditions at the hospital, at the same hospital. And it was really challenging because when I drive past that hospital, I have the, like, oh my God, the most beautiful day of my life when my babies were born and I found out they were healthy and all of that. And then driving by there and being sad knowing that my parents were gone, and the hardship that they went under, like that, the suffering they went through. And that kind of energy, it's like mixed emotions. So sometimes the sad emotions win and sometimes the happy emotions win. And so that's why the mixed emotions are the most difficult to overcome. And then we have, okay, so destiny is calling. We have this energy of the wheel is turning, past, present, and future. And this is like synchronicities happening, and you're ready to move forward. And so this energy is like you're on your destined path here. And so the new moon coming up on the 18th is in Capricorn. And the Capricorn energy is the perfect energy for climbing up that mountain, like one hoof at a time, basically. But the thing is that the Capricorn energy also has like a dolphin tail. So it's not that easy. Like, it's about taking consistent steps of action, but they have to use their tail instead of a mountain goat rear end kind of. So that it's about really being determined to take consistent steps of action. And the new moon on the 18th is ushering in this energy like of, hey, it's new, it's a new life, it's new, a new way of being. It's a destined path for you. And this is in the Capricorn energy. So it's a brilliant time right now to get ready for that. Like, it's the 13th now when this is going to be uploaded. And so the energy is saying, anything that you still have that you need to release right now to get into that energy of the new, release it before the new moon comes in on the 18th. And generally, we do feel that energy coming in about 3 days before and after. The full moon tends to be a lot more emotional, and it was a real emotional full moon on the 3rd. And I feel the reason for that is because letting go, and like, you can love someone and still have to let them go. That's the kind of energy. It's just not working out no matter what. And too many things have happened that you just can't do it anymore. It's just like you're just not in a position where you feel like you can put up with one more bullshit action from that person ever again in your life, and you just are done. Like, and there's an energy that comes over people, and people talk about this. I was just done. I was done with that career. I couldn't go to work that day. I never have gone back. That kind of energy. And then we have, look at this, we have the 9 of Pentacles. So I feel like this is talking about you have learned the art of the 369. And if you know who Nikola Tesla is, Nikola Tesla quite often talks about, if you knew the beauty of the 369, you would have the keys to the universe. And this is talking about understanding that ratio of, like, she has her hand on 6 pentacles. And she has 3 in the bush there. She can give those to other people for charity. She can invest in other things other than herself. But She understands that she needs to look after herself first so that she is able to move forward. And this is also a card about decluttering and cleaning up your environment. So you may have to let go, release a lot of material things if you're separating or divorcing, but that energy it's freeing, because you're decluttering. When you declutter your environment, you declutter your mind. And Nikola Tesla, like the 369, is that energy of knowing the ratio of how much to keep, how much to give. And I feel this is saying that you've learned that lesson. So now moving forward, you're not going to, be so burnt out. You're not going to get yourself in this kind of energy. And this is really important, because the fire horse energy coming in on the 17th of February, that's the day the new moon comes out also. And there's a lot of energy behind it. And the fire horse energy, if you're not careful, it can be very impulsive, and it can be like really, you can get burnt out by just going at this pace 24/7. And also like trying to beat the competition doing it. And when you're really, what are you doing when you're doing that? You're beating up yourself. And then we have the King of Wands energy coming in. So this King of Wands energy is talking, the King of Wands is sitting on his throne, and he's looking into the future. He's visionary. This quite often talks about entrepreneurship. It's about being passionate about the future and being able to move forward and having that love of the unknown, and like wanting to go and look for, have knowledge for the sake of it. That's the energy, just really being in that really powerful energy of, okay, I'm going to move forward. The Virgo energy is very similar to this in many ways, but it's way more of an organized energy. And they have the saying that if your cleanliness is next to godliness, Virgo energy is like very in alignment like this. And if things get messy and emotions become mixed, if those trophies aren't like lined up, like perfectly, it can be really challenging for that energy. But in this reading, there's plenty of pentacles here. This is about bringing what you want down to earth, and that's Virgo's specialty. It's about doing it in an organized way. So I feel like with this Capricorn moon, you might be moving forward in a different way. It may feel really unorganized, but if you can get your environment like in order and clean like Virgo likes, it'll settle your mind. Like say, like maybe you're having to move to a new place and it's way smaller and it's not what you really want, but like you're in the middle of this situation. So you have mixed emotions still. Get your environment as clean as you can, because that, out of all the signs, that will really empower you. Virgo, it can't handle when there's clutter and like when things are disorganized. And so when it's already disorganized, just cleaning up your environment for a few hours. If you're moving, I'm just getting unpacks, because this can be about moving, right? Unpack boxes, start putting things away. Like, if you need to clean it, get it cleaned. So get a good start, that kind of energy. And the more you clean up your environment, the less stressed out your mind is going to be. Then when you can start seeing these things in order, it won't bother you. The disorder won't bother you as much. When a clean home for Virgo is really important. They like things in order. And if Virgo energy if it's in a disorganized order, then it throws them off more than the other signs. And yeah, it's like a mental prison almost. So this energy is talking about being like wanting to move forward and having your right foot forward. And I feel like this quite often represents that this may have been a bigger puddle here. And this represents these rough emotions, right? And so now this puddle is drying up, and this person could just walk forward and go and, get help or whatever. But there's some sort of energy of feeling bound to this old energy on some level. And like there's like these 5 swords here, and then there's 2 here. And it just sort of, I've never noticed this before, but it kind of resonates with this energy. And then only the 1 sword moving forward. And you notice that these 5 swords are in front of the castle there. So it's kind of like everything that you thought you had, it it wasn't what you want. Like, it was mixed emotions basically, and caused a lot of, this is talking about being trapped, feeling like you're trapped in a situation, and that what you have is not what you want to have, and you don't know how to get out of it, and you feel like duty bound in some way, that you have to figure it out, you know, that kind of energy. But the puddles are smaller, so her left foot is still in that emotion, but the masculine energy is saying, no, it's time to move forward, clean up clean up where you are and enjoy the journey. Like, really get your shift together is the bottom line with this energy. So, and particularly in the Virgo energy, it's challenging when because this is pentacles, and the pentacles don't just represent money and coin. That's a part of it, but it's more like, that's more important to the Virgo energy, is to have things lined up, and you know what your next steps are going to be, and you know, you come home and you know that your house is gonna, or your environment is gonna look a certain way. You know, you have a maid come in and make sure, like if you're working hard, that you come home, you want to have, you know, what you're going to have for supper that night, that kind of energy, being and having it organized. That's the most important thing. Otherwise, the communication can go really can go off the wire. So if you're enjoying this, please do give it a like and a comment. Here's the card coming out. The energy, I was saying it, give it a like and a comment, because I would really appreciate that. That would empower me to build my channel. Also, I am using my oracle cards from Tales from the Vector, which I started back in 2007, and I finished the 64th painting in 2020. So now I am, like, all the paintings are done, and I've had the cards out at my seminars, and I've had them at psychic fairs for several years, but now I am working with them, with you, so that I can gather the information that goes with the book when I print it out. So this, I have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and the cards, the numbers on these cards are the numbers of the paintings as they are in my gallery. So you can go check it out if you want at talesfromthevector.com, and that's TAILS. It might give you some more insight. So we have anger here. And so this is talking about, like I feel like the energy is just like, frustration. Frustration is fear and anger mixed. And I feel like it's more frustration, but you might have been raised in an environment where it was my way or the highway from the patriarch of the family, or the matriarch, in that masculine energy. And there was no dallying from that. It's my way or it's the highway. You live in my house. It has to be done this way. And a lot of anger-driven energy. And sometimes when people are raised like that, it takes quite a bit. It's the gift that keeps on giving, because it's passed down from one generation to another. And so this energy here can sometimes represent having a real fiery temper and then really regretting it later, kind of energy. But it's, it's too late at that point, right? So then we have what's defining the Queen of Swords, jealousy. So, we're all siblings on the planet Earth, but, there's such a thing as sibling rivalry, and there could have been a lot of that in your family. Like, there could have been some jealousy, people on your side and also against you. And the funny, weird thing about this karmic space of jealousy is, anyway, like it's kind of like a ridiculous energy in some ways, because what are you jealous of? Being, I wish my hair was the color of my sister's, or, that kind of energy, or I wish I had that, I wish that was mine, or whatever, that kind of energy. And you could do that growing up, but eventually you have to grow out of that. And the funny thing about jealousy and the karmic space of jealousy is that you can actually be jealous of yourself, how you were when you were a kid and you were more carefree, or you can be jealous of yourself when you were maybe at a time when your life was more organized and you really believed all of this was going to work out and you had that attitude, and now you're in all this disarray kind of energy. So you can actually be jealous of your own self. And this is talking about the way to heal from that is to just tell yourself, because the Queen of Swords, like, she can be that way. I'd rather be better. And you have to tell yourself, I'd rather be better than bitter. Would you rather have a closed heart and never move on and have the good life? I mean, you have, that you wanted. Do you want to sit in this cold energy, for a while? Maybe you need to, because that's the way you're protecting yourself. But eventually you want to open yourself back up to having what you originally wanted in life. That's the kind of energy. And then we're talking about the ego, keeping your ego in check. Because when you're in these situations that you never thought you'd be in, it can be really challenging, to recognize, hey, like, I never thought this would happen. Like, I really didn't, and just weren't expecting it. And I also am getting that this energy, you really weren't expecting it. You really thought that you had this, maybe, or the other person maybe thought they had this, and you weren't feeling it. Like, you just weren't in love with the person, or they, that kind of energy. But I'm feeling like it could be several scenarios, of course, because there's so many different ways this is played out. Feeling degraded, yeah. And it's kind of an energy of feeling like you're going down instead of up, or you're going backwards and you haven't made any progress, and you're having to start all over again from scratch. But that's really a fallacy, because you can never be exactly in the same place that you were before. It's physically impossible. We're taught in school that that we revolve around the sun and all the planets are in this perfect circle in the drawings, and they just keep going around, and after 365 days we've done one rotation, now we're going to do another. But it's not really like that. What's really happening is the whole dynamic is moving, and it's spinning, and it's spiraling, and it's moving. So you never actually can be in exactly the same place as you ever have been. It's like physically impossible. You have more knowledge now, than you had when you started out before. And so if you take that and you apply that, it's going to make a big difference. The disruption, yeah. And, whatever happened here, I feel like it was shocking for one person, but the other person could see it coming. So it could have something to do with pentacles, like that could be like a gambling problem. It could be all sorts of things, that kind of energy, because the pentacles is coming up. And it also could have been something to do with love, like having a situation where your partner maybe had an affair or something like that, that type of energy. And then we have the Magician. So the energetic upgrade is what we're talking about here. This is on the Emperor energy. So the Emperor energy is all about performance. And I feel like that's what I was just saying, is taking this energy and recognizing, okay, this is a new start, this is a new beginning, but you're not starting from scratch. You're taking everything that you learned with you, and you have the potential to move through it much more quickly than you would have in the past. And look at that. I love this, how it's just, this now is saying, yeah, remember, the Emperor is all about performance. And I'm getting, you are the Emperor energy. I'm getting, it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man, it's talking about recognizing that you're determined to move through this and get things lined up again. And the Virgo energy is very much like that. It's like, okay, let's get her organized. That kind of energy. Cleanliness is next to godliness. And what a good way to really to get into that energy is just to clean. Like, you could have the most clean house and the yard is clean, the cars are clean, everything's clean. And that'll make you feel better. That energy there. So the 20, this is talking about the Earth Star energy. This is about remembering. You know how you've already been very successful, and you are actually very successful. You're just not feeling very successful right now because it's not what you thought it was going to be. Really, when do things actually go the way we expect them? Expecting things to go in a specific way is like going to create all sorts of limitations. Like, and the other thing is the problem that you thought, like, oh, this would never be a problem for me. I never thought of this. It never is. The problem is never what you think it is. The problem, you have to be intuitive, right? And here is having the strength and the integrity to get through it. And so recognizing that once you have the truth can be really hard to hear. It can be really challenging to deal with because it's not what you, like, it could be like, whoa, are you kidding me? Whatever your situation is, but it's having the strength to face it, face your fears around it. What was your part in it? And then having the integrity. And this is also the inter part of the Intergalactic Federation of Life, I feel, of light, sorry, is about being able to integrate all these different versions of who you are and who you want to be and bring them into integrity. And then we have the guiding star energy. So the guiding star is about using your intuition as well as your logic. And I feel like that's really important for you to recognize at this time. That maybe back when this was happening, something was telling you, like I told you, the universal whisper, hey, you might want to take a look at that. And you didn't want to see it. So I'm just not going to see it. You made a choice not to see it on some level, whether you're aware of it or not. And we have the Chariot coming in. So this is talking about this energy is already moving. Like you're the worst is over. You're moving through it. You're strong enough. You can deal with this. I feel like hearing the truth was the hardest part. And once you heard the truth, then it was easier after that, because then you could make a very clear decision. Because and again, Virgo they want to know, like, okay, what happened, what order did it happen in, that kind of energy. And sometimes you'll never get that 100% clarity, so you have to be okay with that within yourself. And then, yes, destiny, it's going to be a whole new world. Once you get neutral to the energy, the extremes of what you thought you had and what you didn't have, and what happened and what didn't happen, and all that energy, all these opposites I'm getting from what you thought you had, then you'll be moving forward, and you're going to be so much stronger because you're going to understand, oh, okay, I understand now. I feel like for this energy is just saying, I just want to understand what happened here. Like what happened here, what the EF happened. External forces happened that were out of your control, and your internal forces, instead of kicking in, I feel like, and doing something about it right away, you didn't want to believe it. Like, no, it's not possible, not that bad, that kind of energy. Yeah, making the judgment. Really, God is the only one that can really judge things properly, like people and why they do what they do. Like, it's hard for us to even sometimes judge why we do what we do, let alone another person. And we don't know 100% what that other person was going through. Like the subconscious mind, they don't, like if you don't remember your childhood, you're just relying on the energy of the people that brought you up, basically, to tell you who you were when you were younger. And that's heavily imprinted on you. And I feel like that has quite a bit to do with this. This is about seeking justice also in the future, like wanting, to clear this up, to clear the karma up. For some reason, I have, like, this is standing out, 2021. So I don't know if something happened in 2021, but that energy is sticking, like, boom, 2021. That's when the wheel started really turning. Like, that's when the energy. So that was about 5 years ago, right? So think back, what was happening in 2021? Some sort of energy that you need to look at from that point. And then we have the dissemination. So this again is saying like the scrambled energy. Elephant? What elephant? I don't see anything wrong here. That kind of energy. And this is also about believing in your own press. And see this, a lot of times when people are trying to motivate other people, they'll say, oh, you have to believe in yourself. I say, be very careful what you believe in yourself. Because your subconscious mind is the thoughts of other people, not you. And that's the first thing, like when we get stressed out and we're in this Knight of Swords energy and we're a fool rushing in energy, that's the mind, the subconscious mind. Do this. It's very impulsive. And those are usually what we regret the most. So, and you might have, like most people do, you might have like this limiting belief right now. I'm never going to have love. I'm not lovable enough. There's clearly something wrong with me, like that this person doesn't love me. That kind of energy. Like, I'm never going to be able to have the life I want. I guess I just don't deserve it. That's the energy. Why didn't I see this coming? Am I stupid? Why can't anything ever work out for me? Why am I such a failure? If that's the tape that is running. And Virgo energy is very much analytical critique, which is very beneficial. Like if you want to understand where you went wrong with something, get a Virgo to tell you. And if they're in that analytical critique, they'll show you exactly, okay, this is what happened, and this is where you should have done that, and it wasn't lined up. They can see when things are sticking out, and you should have done this instead, and then it would have worked out like that. But that analytical critique can turn into anal criticism it's a very fine line. And the thing is about the Virgo energy, they are that way with themselves first and foremost. And then that's how they end up communicating with others. The sign that dominates the energy of Virgo is that Mercury, and that's all about communication. And Mercury quite often goes into reverse, you may have noticed. So when Mercury, when they talk about Mercury going into retrograde or other planets, it's like it appears from our vision, from our view from the Earth, that the planet is going backwards. And Mercury's famous for having communication that goes awry in very many ways when it's in retrograde. So that you could blame it on the retrograde. Maybe that's what I'll name this reading. Blame it on the retrograde. I like that. Anyway, I do hope that this has given you some good insight and that you've enjoyed it and you can kind of laugh a little bit at it. This is humanity, right? I'm not laughing at you, believe me. I'm just saying I'm laughing with you because this is life, on planet Earth. It's messy. It's not orderly. And so it's actually very orderly, but when it goes into chaos, it's hard to see the order. Like that, what happens is we have the expansion and then we have the contraction. And so the contraction is, okay, let's get everything back in order again. And then it's like, woo, let's go out there again. That kind of energy. And I feel right now, if you clean up your environment, you'll be more able to expand. You'll be more in that mindset. I really do feel that for you, Virgo. So all the best to you. I will have another reading for you at the end of the month, or for the end of the month. And that will be probably in the next week or so. So bye for now, and all the best to you.